Doretha,
Yeah.
here we are at a Gospel Meets Symphony rehearsal, getting ready for the 25th
Yes.
anniversary.
Exciting.
Were you at the first one?
Yes.
I remember being at the
Yes.
first one, and you sang on the first one as well.
I did.
So you've sung many solos, right?
Yes.
Have you sang every year?
Yeah, just about every year I've had a solo, yes.
I have the most vivid recollection of being at the soundboard at E.J. Thomas Hall. I'm Eric, and I'm the Associate Conductor of the Akron Symphony, and I was in on the opening of the first concert of the Gospel Meets Symphony series, and I remember sitting back on the soundboard, and I didn't know what to expect, and this little lady was up on stage, and it was like watching a spark plug fire. Oh yeah, it was. You're going to go all modest on me, but it was really terrific.
Oh.
And you had the house in the palm of your hand, and the place rocked. And so, have any particularly favorite memories or thoughts about it?
I just love to sing gospel.
Uh-huh.
And the getting together of the instruments and our vocal instruments just combined in the many different churches and things. It's just awesome. It's
Beautiful
like
community.
a gospel reunion.
Right, and a wonderful community experience.
Yes.
But you sing in church too,
Yes, I
right?
do.
How was it different from church?
In church, I'm a director
Ah.
at my church, so it's a little different. But when you got massive amount of it's an awesome experience because I love music,
Right.
and just to hear that, and then the beauty of the instruments is coming. It's just wonderful. I love it. I look forward every year.
Right. Well, I'm glad to be back and associated with it, of course. But I started out. Connie Linsler told me that they were going to do a gospel concert, and I didn't know gospel music at all. I grew up in a part of northern Vermont where there was no gospel music, and I had really no experience. And so I wasn't ready at all for what I was going to hear. And I met Chuck Myrick's, and I heard some of Chuck's music. And Connie Linsler, who was then the executive director of the Greater Akron Musical Association, she assigned me to write the orchestra arrangements for some of Chuck's music.
It's beautiful.
And that was for me an immersion experience in the wonderful talent of Chuck Myrick's and the wonderful joy of gospel music. So I got to write for the orchestra, and the big thing, Dorothy, that for me was the important thing was to try to somehow write for the orchestra so that it would match the dynamism of your vocal performance, or obviously of the whole chorus. And that was the challenge for me as an arranger, was to come up with things for the orchestra to do. What can the orchestra bring to this party?
It was beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Beautiful.
And that's the challenge. And in order to make gospel meet symphony, so it's not just the orchestra playing backup, but it's the orchestra having a real interaction with you all as you're singing.
I was mesmerized just sitting on the stage, looking down at the orchestra.
Right.
It was just, I just love it.
Wonderful. Well, it's that meeting of gospel and symphony, and that I got to play a part, particularly at that really at nuts and bolts level of writing the music for the orchestra, to participate in the event, was for me a really, really a joyful experience. And then there's, of course, the experiences we had of singing some of the great classical music that we've sung.
Yes.
So that was another meeting of gospel and symphony. So I'm delighted that we're here together to celebrate 25 years of Gospel Meets Symphony, and we'll look forward to many more.
Yes.